Okay, yes, sorry. But so now I'm inviting Brother Mahaviir from Brazil, and we all know him very well. He's a beautiful musician and singer. So, okay, Namaskar, brother. Welcome to our RAWA program.
Namaskar, Didi. It's good to see you again. It's good to see all of
Namaskar.
you again. Um, One of the things I really enjoy about RAWA is its international character and the diversity of cultures, but also the diversity of individuals. Every artist I have seen and I see always brings his or her individual flair, vibrations, and it's always a pleasure to see so much talent. And speaking of diversity, I'm going to bring some poetry for you all. I'm going to do a poetry performance, and without further ado, I will begin. With words I sow the seed of life along a long row of lines, read the signs and reap my story, a mystery in rhythm and rhyme. A maze in hieroglyphs, my amazing monomyth, in many ways frames a clumsy, clever phrase, wherever one wanders here and there in sight of insight. Whenever one wonders now and then how to write the years of tears and laughter once upon and ever after. As a master of the arts in souls, I seal an omen, the flower to awaken, the key to kingdoms hidden within the heart. For in truth I share the roots that bear forbidden fruits, the tree of knowledge in a nutshell, spoken in a spell, a vision in a verse, union in the universe. Well, all is all well in heaven and hell, so I say, so I tantalize the wise with rapture, once upon and ever after. As if this life were but a dream, I woke to find myself asleep, and time before the moment stood as if it were not still. As if it spoke without a sound, a quiet voice within me called, and I chose not to look around as if it weren't for me at all. As if I might see you again, my eyes suddenly opened, and did my urge lead onward when, as if the spell were broken, as if it could not be for real, my hope in doubt was covered, and there beside it, nothing lost, as if it were discovered. As if this life were but a dream, I woke to find myself asleep, and time before the moment stood, as if it were not still. Is being time for the time being. In space, beyond space, being time, a space and time, beyond time, being space, a time and space to time, a space of time, being time for the time being in space time. Now, here, now, always. There and then, when there was time, there was no time for here and now. While, meanwhile, now, nowhere. In the meantime, time is everywhere but there, and then, in the end, still here and now. How or where will I begin? In time, whenever there is time. Bell rings, rang, rung. Amused, so not so amused, in a spell sings her song, sang, sung. Her story foretells all a long allegory, all about being without being within being, all around a sound, a bound in silence. In essence, a nonsense, an incense of presence in absence. I see the sea sees me, echoes of echoes, reflections of reflections, to be or not to be or not to be. Me, and you, as we stand to be or not to be or not to be. Free. In every age I see the sea sees me, a sage in a cage on a desert island, eyes devoid of the void of D, E, P, sleep. There where nowhere seals streams of appeal so real, the siren seems surreal or not surreal or not surreal. Ripples on the sea of time, waves upon the shore. Once upon and ever after, once forevermore. The sun projects a shadow, I suspect it might be mine, on a path towards the horizon where the heavens draw the line. A portrait of reflection in the mirror of my eye, as I answer with a question, why not, ask not why. I walk along ahead against the current moment past, the dunes of never ever, doomed to beg again, to begin again, to beg to begin again at last. Runaway child far away all alone, daddy's dead and mama's gone to bed a while. No place like home, and thus all roads must lead to Rome. No time or space to bear the face that wears a mask. Do I dare you ask, as one who has no one to turn to? Now you to know how to learn when to hide and seek and then turn aside and say something, nothing anyway. The grief, the disbelief of knowing, not knowing, of never really coming to know anything. Forever truly going to and fro from end to end to question everything. While meanwhile the runaway child far away all alone wonders why? If all roads lead to Rome, do I still need a home? Runaway child far away all alone, daddy's dead and mama's gone to bed a while. No place like home, and thus all roads must lead to Rome. No time or space to bear the face that wears a mask. Do I dare you ask, as one who has no one to turn to? Now yearn to know how to learn when to hide and seek and then turn aside and say something, nothing anyway. The grief, the disbelief of knowing, not knowing, of never really coming to know anything. Forever truly going to and fro from end to end to question everything. While meanwhile the runaway child far away all alone wonders why? If all roads lead to Rome, do I still need a home? There is nowhere left to go but home. There is nowhere left to go. There is nowhere left. There is nowhere left to go but home. There is nowhere left but home. There is nowhere but home. There is nowhere left to go but home, but there is nowhere to go. There is no home left. Farewell departure on a plane to no place like home. On a plane nowhere alone. Somewhere air and adventure in air, and swear to never leave or love or live again. Free fall free from all suspense again, hence ride, the tail end is near, or right, the trail ends there. Everywhere ever but here again. Hear a sound, a crash, as ashes burn around a mound. Yearn to fly again, in the sky again, on wings to sing bye bye over and over again and again. Everywhere I go, there's a part of me that I come to find. Everywhere I go, there's a part of me that I leave behind. Every time I stay, there's a part of me that's already at home. Every time I stay, there's a part of me that's ready to roam. Anytime I stay, there's a part of me that'll always say, anywhere I go, there's a part of me that I'll never know. I forget to remember how once upon a sometime in a far some place I was, something to someone somewhere there where I thought I felt I was somebody. If anybody at any time is anything to anyone anywhere at all. In your eyes a mirror reflects the shadow. In your heart a labyrinth reveals the secret. In your voice an echo whispers maybe, maybe, maybe. A choice, this or that, and then, in the end, all paths lead to Never Never Land. Every time I awake in a dream all alone, everywhere is nowhere, and here where I see nothing in everything, I think I feel I am nobody. Once upon a time, in a faraway place, lived a boy who would fly into outer space and dance with the planets around the sun, ride the tails of comets just for some fun. He would fly with the birds and swim in the seas, hop over mountain peaks and slide down valleys. Alone he would travel to places unknown, and he lived like this until he was grown. Then one day in his cave a thought crossed his mind. Well, adventures I've had and more I could find. I'm tired of searching for things to do. My life's become empty. I need something new to fire my passions, yet keep me content. Off I go, and away he went. In search of his dream, he traveled for days, began to lose hope, and in utter dismay, lay down on a cloud, sobbing with grief, shaking his head in disbelief. What am I doing here? Nothing seems right. I'm looking for something so far out of sight. I need a sign that will point the way, so I may follow it now without further delay. As he spoke, there came flashing a light from above. Then there came flapping the wings of a dove. Follow me, it said as it flew away. To where or why, it didn't say. Until finally they reached a palace of gold, so magnificent its glory could never be told. On a majestic throne sat a wise old king, who knew of his quest and decided to bring the young man there to answer his plea. He held up a mirror for the lad to see. See this, he said, smiling all-knowingly, is what you must seek to live peacefully. Know thyself in darkness and light, polish the mirror to glean this insight. So the king bid him farewell with this tool in his hand, and with a joyous heart he danced all through the land, singing thanks and praises to the Most High for dispelling his sorrows and opening his eyes. Who am I? Who are you? What's this ordeal we're living through? Where's the meaning in this game? Why the fuss? It's all so lame. Nothing special's happening here. Is this some senseless joke? I fear it won't last too long at all before we all just slip and fall away like autumn leaves, unless some trick is up our sleeves. If hands are quicker than the eye, that some secret's passed me by. Could I look close enough to see that the joke is all on me? There is laughter all around because my reason is unsound. I've missed the point so far, the depth of who we are, the wonder of all things, and the happiness it brings to look around in awe at the world without a flaw, and myself a mystery. It's truly great to be alive, having seen what a blind fool I've been. And my last poem, this is called A Time to Rhyme. It's not really a poem, it's a text. Only herds of lonely words A faceless multitude, a baseless solitude, traverse in verse the pages of the ages. Names and frames like you and I, as real and ideal as earth and sky, wander around and wonder about the signs they signify, or the nature of their stature from their birth until they die. For still the years transform begotten forms until appearances disappear along with long forgotten formal norms of characterization, characterized by characters in action. Of course, perhaps this so-called individual discourse per se, after all never original, is always and ever a source of hype, a perverse type of blend adverse to trends and style, while meanwhile seen as a genius of a genus. Such a course is such as such in a sense, in essence, a nonsense, since this revolution of resolution is the expression of impressions of the same rules from whence it came. Hence fools become tools of a tragic logic as subjects object to a language of bondage. Objects subject to the bondage of language, the former insists, the latter resists. Letters in fetters digress, impede progress. The stampede tramples over borders of thought. These orders that ought to contain and restrain remain what sustain a predestined ambition to end and transcend a questioned condition, a unique and oblique obsession reflective of a perspective of oppression. Well, finally, a finale. Herds of words are heard. A leader elects to select a reader to free the story from history and represent the present movement, to see all class as allegory and to pass the time with rhyme. Namaskar. It has been a great pleasure to be with you all.
Namaskar, brother. Thank you so
Until
much.
next time.
Thank you. So you all write yourself you're a great poet. I didn't know that.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's all my work.
Yeah, the words are very touchy, and it need a proper concentration and proper timing to write all these things. Everyone can't do that. That's great.
Didi.
Yes, wonderful, nice, beautiful. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Namaskar.